Welcome back, student. In the previous lecture we have started our discussion about Helmholtz equation. We have gone through those Maxwell's equation in the phasor form. We applied certain vector identity and we came to this conclusion that alpha beta value we have got, and we finally came to the E bar expression in the phasor form ES as EXS of Z into AX bar. And what is this ES? ES represents electric field component in the phasor form which is flowing along AX bar direction. So let's try to sort it out, and let's putting the equation number 6, what we get. See, if I want to put this in equation number 6, what is our equation number 6? Let's go back to the equation number 6. This is equation 6. So del square ES minus gamma square ES. We have certain expression for ES as EXS of Z into AX bar. If we put it here, what expression we will get, we will try to calculate. So EXS of S will put it here, and del square minus gamma square EXS is taken common, X of Z is equal to 0. We already know that since it is a function of Z, it is function of Z, that means partial derivative with respect to X will tend to 0, partial derivative with respect to Y turn to 0, and only partial derivative with respect to Z will sustain. So if I want to write this del square as dou square EX upon dou Z square of Z minus gamma square EXS of Z is equal to 0. This expression we got. Why we got this expression? Because del square is dou square by dou X square of EXS of Z, dou square of dou Y square of EXS of Z, and it is with respect to Y, this is with respect to Z. And if I want to have this with respect to X and Y, since it is a function of Z, we already know if I have a term with respect to Z and if we are differentiating with respect to X, is tend to 0, this also tend to 0, and I am left with, so we have left with dou square EXS of Z upon dou Z square minus gamma square EXS of Z is equal to 0. See, this bracket Z represent EX is a function of Z. EX is a function of Z, and this subscript S denotes E bar is represented in the phasor form. So can we write, because we can take this EXS of Z common, and we have left with d square by dz square minus gamma square. Since it is a function of Z, we can represent this partial derivative by the normal derivative, dou square by dou Z square minus gamma square into EXS of Z is equal to 0. This is the expression we got. This is equation number 16. Now this is a scalar wave equation, a linear homogeneous differential equation. Once again, this is a differential equation. If we try to solve it out, because this is linear equations, and on the right hand side we have got this as 0. So EXS of Z is equal to E0 e raised to minus gamma Z plus E0 dash e raised to plus gamma Z. So there are two roots of this equation, since it is a second order equation. E0 e raised to minus gamma Z plus E0 dash e raised to plus gamma Z, equation number 17. So this equation number 17 tells something about the wave. Let's talk about those things in detail. Now E0 and E0 dash are the constants, and it's a fact that the field must be finite at the infinity requires that E0 dash is equal to 0. Why? Because see, this is the first term which represents wave traveling in the positive Z direction. Remember this is a key point of the wave equation. Whenever you are getting any expression with respect to e raised to minus Z, minus gamma Z, this represents wave traveling in the plus Z direction, and we call this as a forward wave, forward moving wave. Even in the transmission line we have gone through this thing. And whenever you are getting expression in e raised to plus gamma Z, it means wave traveling in the negative Z direction. Positive Z, negative Z. And if we want our energy to be transferred, or which to be finite at the infinity, then this term should tend to 0. We don't want any wave which is traveling in the minus Z direction. So we will consider only this first part of the expression, and E0 dash will tend to 0. Inserting the time factor e raised to j omega t into equation number 17. So in this equation number 17, we will now introduce the factor of e raised to j omega t, which is time dependent factor, and using gamma equal to alpha plus j beta. What we get? We will get e raised to e of z comma t. See, E0 e raised to minus gamma Z. Can I write this as cos gamma Z plus j sin gamma Z? Yes, I can write that. Cos gamma Z plus cos gamma Z. I can write e raised to minus gamma Z as cos gamma Z plus j sin gamma Z, and gamma is replaced by alpha plus j beta. So if that is so, and I have also introduced the term e raised to j omega t, and I can write now E of Z comma t, so that means electric field intensity as a function of space and time. I can represent it as a real part of E excess of Z, e raised to j omega t into AX bar, or it can also be represented as real part of e raised to 0 Now I have replaced this gamma by alpha and beta, so it will be e raised to minus alpha z into e raised to j omega t minus beta z, because e raised to gamma z can be represented as e raised to minus alpha z into e raised to minus j beta z. Is it okay? So if it is so, I can take this j common, so it will be j omega t minus beta z into ax bar. Or simple words, I have e raised to minus alpha, since it is a real part, e raised to minus alpha, e raised to j omega t plus beta z. I can add them finally, and I will get this as e0 e raised to minus alpha z cos of omega t minus beta z into ax bar. And what is this? This is the wave equation. Now let's talk about this wave equation in detail. What it means to say, E bar field is a function of space and time, perfectly okay. E0 is the initial amplitude of the wave. If I want to draw the wave something like this, so I will draw it here, okay, something like this, okay, whose amplitude is decaying, okay. So e raised to E0 e raised to minus alpha z cos of omega t minus beta z, it indicates that waves are sinusoidal in nature. So this is the first thing, waves are sinusoidal in nature, perfectly okay. E0 is the initial amplitude. I can denote this initial amplitude of wave as E0, and this initial amplitude will be attenuated by the factor of attenuation, so alpha e raised to minus alpha 0. What is alpha? Alpha is attenuation factor. So initial amplitude will be attenuated by the factor of minus alpha while flowing in the z direction. So this attenuation is going to happen while traveling along z direction, and it is having sinusoidal nature. But what is actual direction of E bar? E bar actual direction is ax bar. So this is the expression for the wave or wave equation. We can write E0 e raised to minus alpha z cos of omega t minus beta z into ax bar. This is our equation number 18. Let's proceed forward. A sketch of E bar at time t equal to 0 and t equal to delta t is portrayed in the previous figure. The figure we have already drawn. Having obtained E of z comma t, we obtain h of z comma t either by taking similar step, or you can write this h of z comma t similar to the equation number 18. We can write for h of z comma t as h0 e raised to minus alpha z e raised to j of omega t minus beta z bracket close ay bar, and h0, this is the expression we have got from Poynting theorem, that h0 is equal to E0 upon eta, where eta is a complex quantity known as intrinsic impedance. So this intrinsic impedance can be represented as eta is equal to under root of j omega mu into divided by sigma plus j omega epsilon. You can put a bracket here. So all these things are inside this square root, or this is denoted by mod of eta at an angle theta eta. Mod of eta at an angle theta eta. What is this theta eta angle? It is angle of intrinsic impedance. When we'll solve the numericals, we will talk about this angle of intrinsic impedance. If j omega mu, if sigma is equal to 0, then j omega get cancelled, and we will get the intrinsic impedance of the free space that we will talk about. But right now these are the expressions, so you need to remember certain expression: equation for alpha, equation for beta, equation for gamma, gamma equal to alpha plus j beta, and equation for intrinsic impedance, eta is equal to j omega mu under root of j omega mu divided by sigma plus j omega epsilon. This intrinsic impedance indicates that how much is the resistance or impedance offered by the media for the wave propagation. When the wave is propagating from source to the destination, definitely it requires a medium to propagate, and how much impedance or resistance is offered by that particular media for the wave propagation from source to the destination is indicated by intrinsic impedance entity. So it is eta value. Okay, let's proceed. So eta is equal to certain expressions you can write. Eta is equal to under root of mu upon epsilon, and you can have certain mathematical expression 1 plus sigma upon omega epsilon square raised to 1 by 4, or tan 2 theta eta. This is also important expression. We may require this during while we solve certain numericals. So tan 2 theta eta is equal to sigma upon omega epsilon, and this is loss tangent, and this what theta eta? It is angle of intrinsic impedance. So let's write expression for h bar once again. H bar expression we can write as E0 upon eta e raised to minus alpha z cos of omega t minus beta z minus theta eta. Why this phase difference is coming of theta eta? because of this H bar. Always remember one thing, E bar and H bar are having certain phase shift. If they don't have a certain phase shift, if E bar and H bar follow hand in hand, wave propagation is not possible. There must be certain phase difference between E bar and H bar, which is represented by theta eta. So H bar direction will be AY bar. You just go through the equation of E bar. E bar was flowing along AX bar, and if I want to write the expression for E bar, it will be E0 e raised to minus alpha z cos of omega t minus beta z bracket close here. We don't have any phase shift term there into AX bar, but for H bar E0 upon mod of eta, this is nothing but this term indicates our H0 term into e raised to minus alpha z cos of omega t minus beta z minus theta eta. This is the phase shift or phase difference between E bar and H bar into AY bar. So we'll stop here. I will once again revise these concepts of H bar in the next lecture onward, and we will see the wave equation for different media and how it is different, and what are the expressions we are getting for alpha, beta, gamma and eta for the remaining media. So till then, happy learning and thank you very much.